I used to hear Kitty Commander say, "My nasty poo," and then I finally like her. I like her. I like
Lynette,
her. I like
Papa,
her. I like her. I like her. So,
thank
Miss
you.
Nasty, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. If y'all are right, I'm gonna do round table side style. If y'all okay
Yeah,
with that,
yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Yeah,
And Tony and Nail, y'all okay with that too, round table style?
however you want to do it, boo. It's your stream, honey.
Oh, I look, it's our
I'm
stream right now. The fuck you
I'm
talking about?
just here for the clout.
Yeah, what you talking about? This your stream right now too. Shit, your stream
I'm
right now.
Nashi. I'm Nashi. I am currently in a I don't know what you want to call it. I don't have set times when I stream. I'm trying to still I got some new things coming up, so I'm trying to finagle a schedule that works all the way around. I have a show that is soon to be featured, which is Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, called Hop, Skip, and a Jump. And what it is it's a traveling show. We have people come on talking about where they've been, what they saw, who they did, what they did, and maybe in what position. No, it's going to be featured. We can't say that. But, maybe what they ate. So come by, check it out if you want to be on it. Hit me up on here. You can come on my stream, come on my IG. I don't care. Let me know. I'll get you on the show. Um, and I'm actually working on some upcoming content in my streams that I'll be dropping on my IG in the next couple of days. So I can't wait.
All right, and make sure you send it to me so I can promote anybody that's in here, or anybody you know, or you know anybody that knows me. Asking, will Sunny promote for you? They're gonna say, hell yeah, she'll promote for you.
I'll do the same thing. If you send me your stuff to my DM, I'll post it on my stuff and everything. Yeah.
Definitely. And one I'm
Hmm.
gonna bring back while it's on my head, so in case I forget, if y'all remember, I did I think I did an 8 week series, and I had people were coming in because it was off the book by Chrissy the Don used to stream over here,
Hmm.
and she has a book called the Unheard, and it was supposed to be a children's book, but it hit so many things. And I said, I was reading, I was like, this was me in my 20s, this was me in my 40s, this is me now. Shit, the fuck, let's do this, So it was, we had different people came in. Hey, Dimples, baby.
Dimples.
So we're gonna go back over
Thank you,
that too.
Dimples.
So
Yeah.
if anybody is interested in that, just let me know. But I'll definitely
Mhm.
promote about that too if somebody wants to come on that one. All right. So let me go ahead and let me get my next one in. This one. We met under some funny circumstances, but she's so cool and so laid back. And she's very, very opinionated. Very
What up,
opinionated.
boo?
And I want to say, I asked the three of my guests today, I asked you all individually, just because when I get a topic, it's who it fits. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I may have certain topics in my mind and I'll send things out to certain people. And I think all y'all were like, well, I've never had that. I'm like, no, it's not that you had to have had it happen. It's because
Yeah.
I think personalities are going to mix, mesh together, mesh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mesh.
no,
Yeah.
mesh
Hmm.
together. And I know you all are opinionated in one way or another. Tony, I think, is the quietest personality on here, but we're gonna get her together today. We're gonna get
We're
a.
gonna get you right, Tawny. We're about to teach you some things.
But you gotta have a quiet one to kind of, you know, we
Hmm.
can't all be. All right,
Yeah.
so Nell plays. When you catch her, I always have trouble catching Nell because she be like in the middle of the night sometimes. Then sometimes she might be in the daytime. I have trouble catching her. But if you like a vibe, as they say, with your music, Nell is where to go. Neil, I might be in here acting stupid and twerking, but Neil gonna have you in there some cool laid back shit. Yeah. All right, so Neil, tell us a little bit about yourself, baby.
Well, as you said, I'm Nell. I'm definitely cool and laid back. Everybody's welcome in my stream. Like it don't matter who it is. Everybody say my stream is a safe place because everybody is just there to chill. Like people like I'm not here, but I'm here. I'm like, all right, bet.
I need that
Um,
plate.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, I used to be a streamer. I just go live now, so you definitely gotta have me fave to catch me, literally. And like Sunny said, now I just pop up randomly when I feel like hitting the button because I do a lot of off app type stuff, and that's more priority than the stream. Or you catch me in the comments somewhere here and there when I'm at work or something like that. But
I usually catch Neil. when I'm getting off the app and I'm looking to see if there's anybody on, and then that's when I normally that's normally when I'll catch her. That's normally when I catch her.
I
But
push
see, I
the
tell
button just to, to make sure I'm not getting fined. I'm paying my dues of.
oh, she said she gonna pay her dues. She gonna pay her dues. All right, now here go the quiet one in the bunch. But I love her so much, and she almost makes me gravitate to her like she's one of my kids, because she calls me Queen Sunny. We can be in somebody else's dream, and she always says, "Queen Sunny."
Dimples too. I saw Dimples in here. I love Dimples. Okay.
That Queen Sunny is that thing. She just has this reserved. She's got a grown ass innocence. If that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, she has
There's
innocence.
three people
But
on
it's
here
not
who are
that
the keepers of my secrets. They know what I when you meet me, it's a whole nother story. So
That's why I said a grown ass innocence. That's a compliment.
Matthew and Blake and
Innocence
Krabby protect my secrets well.
She is. She's sweet. All of us on here are sweet. So you push a button and then you see something else that you may or may not want to see.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. So y'all, this topic is you know what? Now that I think about it, I found out like 5, 6. No, I found out when I was divorcing my kid's dad. He told me that he had slept with my sister. Actually, but me being the kind of bitch I am, I said, "Well, you better go to the doctor because the joke's on you because she's HIV positive." And I hung up the phone. But there you go. God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought something was going on with you bitches, but I wasn't sure, but go get yourself checked because she HIV positive, And whether he was joking and trying to get under my skin or not, he ain't said nothing else about that ever, ever again. All right, but y'all heard me tell the story that I heard the other day.
Yeah.
And me being born and raised into a religious home, the first thing that popped in my mind was, in the Bible days, if the brother died, then it was okay to take on his wife because you were keeping the lineage and taking care of your brother's. I am your brother's keeper, and all that other stuff. So then it popped in my mind with, no, the fuck that ain't right. That's the other thing. So we're going to go around just the way y'all came in the box. Tell me your initial, what Dimples has been saying. What was your first visceral thought to hear that? What is that first thing that pops in your head?
So I know for me, the first thing that pops in my head is they were knocking boots before she ever died.
Oh, okay. I thought about that.
That's just me, I'm just saying, if that door opened after she was died, that door was already open before she died. I could be wrong, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. Okay. Shoot, that door was already opened to some extent,
That was the first thing that came to my mind too, because I think this took place. I think it was like what I would call a short amount of time, like in that 4 to 6 month range. Before they got on an intimate level, and that was too quick to me too. What about you, Neil? What say you, Neil?
You can't help who you connect with. And timing, I think that timing, due to the situation, I think that was more of a trauma bond than actual intimacy.
Gotcha. See why I like to have multiple people with it. See, y'all thinking everybody got a different. All right, Tony, what say you?
When I heard your story, initially I did have one set way of thinking on this, but I was like, well, yeah, this one was a little different. The sister died, so it kind of makes you wonder, well, was there some conversation, ahead of time that maybe the sister would have actually been okay with this? We don't know that part of it. Maybe if the sister had actually said, hey, there could have been a conversation, hey, well, I want my kids to be taken care of. I want him to have somebody. I want him to be alone. Maybe that conversation was ahead of time, because if she thought it was okay, maybe that means that they had the conversation at some point where she thought it was okay. And if she had the go ahead from the sister, then I think that's where it can differ. If somebody gives you the go ahead, then it does make it a little different. So
see, all of y'all got all kind of questions and thoughts, and that's what I love. Now, Tony, I didn't think about yours. I did think about Nashie's and Nails before, but I didn't think about yours because we all probably have seen, heard, or watched that situation where, like, say one had a terminal illness. Mm-hmm. And they were already talking about it, and I want you to take care of the kids. And I've seen movies and things, and I've heard a story or two about them prearranging that too, because the one family member was coming over to check on them a lot, so they were already seeing a bond starting with them, and they were like, "Hey, it's okay," kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But even if that was the case, could y'all do it?
So, okay. So if it was my sister and she died and it was her husband, absolutely not. No. Nope. There's just certain boundaries for me I can't cross. And also, I just want to touch base on the whole having an understanding before you died. Here's my understanding. Okay, is I'm dead. You can't sleep with nobody. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna haunt your ass. And if you sleep with my family member, I'm really gonna haunt your ass.
I knew she about to see something, do something because of the way her head went. I knew it. I saw that head go a little bit like she about to go. Well, see, that's kind of me. That's kind of me. No, what about you? Could you do it? You think if everything was aligned like that and the okay was given? Is that something you think you can get into still? Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I was gonna say we'll come back to Neil. She's thinking hard.
Well, yeah, I was, but in a sense, but then it took to me as like outside of like people automatically think intimacy is automatically having sex. Mm-hmm. You have intimacy with your best friend. You don't necessarily have to have sex with this partner or a person. Y'all could just be there for each other. So in a sense, if there was a okay given, yeah, but then that's also kind of unfair to said person. Like you don't fall in love with one person in your lifetime. And who's to say the person you married was the person you're supposed to end your life with?
Get the fuck in there, Nail.
She absolutely right.
Yeah. And then that also falls into what you were saying about timing. You never know when, and it could just be that, like how Tawny put that out there. Just the whole story. I said in general, the timing could have been, the perfect storm.
Exactly.
And everything happens for a reason, and the reason could have been, for the children to be there, for the sister to have whatever happiness she had until she passed, and now is this. But I still can't get past it though.
I can't.
We're back to you because this is the scenario you brought up. Okay. Could you do it?
Different reasoning. I am not very close to my sister. I just have the one sister. She's been with the same guy since she was 16. I don't know why they're together. He's ratchet. He's ratchet as fuck. There's no nice way to say it. If she died, hell no, I don't want no piece of that. I will never have sex again till the day I die if that's my only option of who to be. No. Like I love my sister, but no. But as far as my nephew, I would take care of my nephew. I would, have my nephew come and live with me. I would take care of my nephew in that sense. So I would take care of, him. But as far as her ex, no.
Okay, so what if the ex wasn't Lord, a few words was about to pop out. I had to catch myself. Y'all know, sometimes when I sit back, that's because I'm catching myself from what I was about to say. I had to catch myself. I had 2 words to describe him came out, and I had, let's not say that. So I'll use your word. Say he wasn't ratchet. Say he was the ideal physical attraction, physically very attractive to you. Say he was a wonderful husband and father and that type thing. Would that be the same feeling?
No, because it just like me and my sister always had that kind of understanding all through life that that was just something we didn't do, that it was just a line you didn't cross. So that was always my understanding with me and my sister. It was a line we wouldn't cross. So nothing that we would ever consider.
All right. So what about just even if it's like from the biblical standing that, like you said, you would take care of your nephew, and I feel like everybody in all of us in these boxes, if something happened with our sister or brother, we're going to step in to take care of those nieces and nephews. Because I did, I know I did, but if let me see how I want to say this. Okay, I guess it's going more on what Neil was saying about the intimacy. So, Neil, elaborate on that for me a little bit. Do you think is it okay to you for the intimacy part? Is it okay to you just because if it's the right time and the right people, that perfect storm? Or you just explain it to me a little bit more. I want to make sure where you are.
If there was quote unquote an attraction, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I don't care the relation of said person. That's all it was, a relation. Like like I said, it I don't know. I just think it's just unfair to other individuals to block somebody else's blessing just because it didn't work out for you,
Okay.
and or whatever the situation may be. Like, yeah, you could be your best friend, it could be your sister, your brother, or whoever it is, but just because it didn't work for you, that doesn't mean it's not going to work for the said person. And why would you be the one to block somebody from that?
Mm-hmm.
And intimacy again doesn't matter. It mean of having sex. It just could be someone you're really
Absolutely.
close to have a conversation, or I'm really having a bad day. Can you give me a hug?
Mm-hmm.
So intimacy is such a broad spectrum. Sex is like on the low totem pole of intimacy,
Right.
but people automatically think sex is intimacy, and it's not.
Okay. Well, what about relationship? Is that
Well, the same thing.
or do you still feel the same way even if it went into a relationship?
Yeah, because that's like further down the line. If you want automatically pursuing a relationship, that happens over time. But just the connection is going to automatically be there. You automatically have a connection and intimacy because of the said situation of partnership or connection or relationship. Anyway, you already have that because it's going, a little deeper. It's levels to friendships and it's levels to connections. So the higher the connection, the higher the level is more the closeness you are. So for me and you, we're like on a level like 1 or 2. So that's how you are with your said partner's significant other, maybe even a 3, depending on how long y'all have had that connection, if you will. But the higher you go, the higher the closeness you are.
And y'all don't have to wait for me to ask a question. If you have something to say, just
No. I get what she's saying, and I respect it.
because I get all into what y'all saying sometimes, and sometimes I'm a visual person, so when you all are speaking, I'm actually seeing scenarios in my head because I'm a very
No,
visual person, and that's
I'm
why.
the same.
Yeah, so I get that, and because Neil, it made me think what you were saying about the levels and things, and the intimacy, because it almost, if the way you described it, it could almost be a better type situation because you are taking more time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're taking it slower, and it really is building that level 1 to the level 2 and the level 3. Whether it's happening it's happening more natural, in a more natural way than most relationships do, because y'all second guessing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're already second guessing it, and like they said on the radio, what's the next family gathering gonna be like?
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually, instead of, and, and they say lesbians, they say we love quick and we love hard. So so a lesbian could be in love today, break up in a relationship Friday, and be in love again next Tuesday. That's kind of what they say lesbians are. So that's what made me think about that. Actually, is, and just on looking at it and thinking as you were talking, is like that is almost a better way to ensure if it's a good thing to do, because you are taking that time, and you went from level one that you might have been the in-law, now you're level two, now you're the co-parent, you're basically the co-parent now because you're helping with the children. And then it's taking you to level three, and then level three is more of, okay, I'm the second adult in the house, not just a co-parent. Now I'm the second adult in the house. And then the next one is like they were dating from the date night. So it did go in a natural progression.
Right.
So, hey, Coco, sweet. Yeah, me too, Jay. Me too. So, Nashi, since you said the fuck no, what you gonna do when they come to the next family gathering?
Well, I mean, I would be there for them. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to cross that line. I just, for me, myself, I can't. But, I'll still be there for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not going to let it go past a certain point, like in their situation.
Right. How do you talk to the children? How do you talk to your nieces, nephews about what's going on, if you all get to that point? Because you all have already talked about it. You had to.
Yeah.
Because the stamina around it, the family, who gonna be talking, which one gonna have a heart attack when they find out, which one gonna try to be all in your business. So y'all already talked about it. How y'all talking to the niece and nephews?
That's a good question. Come back to me on that one. I need a minute.
Okay. You've been around Kitty Commander too much. You said you were just like her right there.
I don't know. I need a minute.
Well, Nashi, Neil or Tony, y'all got some? How do you think that needs to be handled with the nieces and the nephews?
Kids see everything.
Yeah, true.
They see everything and they feel everything and they know everything before you even say it. Kids react off of not knowing and lying. Even as adults, even though they're a child, they know. So that's why it's very healthy to communicate with your child regarding whatever. You may not want to use bigger words, just drop down to their level of understanding, depending on the child, because some children are, very open and smart and intelligent and understands those big words. So
mature, yeah.
Keep it up front with them. And plus, like I said, that bond is already there. So you technically not really changing anything outside of the consistency of your presence.
Yeah.
But still being open.
So you're thinking more of a gradual talking, like when it's first starting.
Especially if you see something being serious.
Yeah. Okay. And then is there like an age situation too? Like if they're like 2, 3, don't say anything and they get used to it and they take it as norm. But if they're at age where they understand, pull them to the side.
At that age, they ask questions. Because I know when I was going through my divorce and separation, my 3-year-old was well aware, and I didn't say anything, but he knew, like, we're not at home anymore. And he would throw a tantrum like, I want to be at home. So just that, I would have to, still have that communication of, we're not living at home no more. Mommy and daddy still love you. We're not together anymore. That type of thing. We're going to have, it was just multiple conversations to where he could understand. But yeah, but also, again, it depends on the child. Like, what your child understands and whatnot. And just break it down to them to where they feel comfortable. Because you always want to, it's all, your child is a package in a sense. Just like when you're dating, you don't just date said individual, you have to date the child as well. So you have to bring them along.
a lot of people don't realize in relationships, well, when they start a relationship, that the person's got to date your child.
Mhm.
They do have to date your child. They don't have to date your mama, daddy, sisters, brothers, but they got to date your child.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't. I know the last time when I get married the second time, when I was probably like a year and a half in, when we even started talking about uh, getting married, I only had two left at home. I had two left at home, and I asked them, "What y'all think? What y'all think about him? Do you like him? What don't you like about him? What do you like about him? Does he make you uncomfortable about anything?" Went through all that, and one of them said, "I don't like the way he smells. I don't like it." I said, "What you mean you don't like the way he smells?" "I don't like his cologne." I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I was like, because I'm like, I know he don't smell, but I didn't know what. But that's how she said it. She probably was 8, and she's "I don't like the way he smells." I was like, "You don't like the way he smells?" But yeah, so okay, so we're thinking that they are. Well, we know kids pick up so much, and we don't realize that they pick up so much. And like when I was getting ready to divorce my kid's dad, when I got my kids together and started talking about it, my oldest, who was 13, 12, 13, 13 at the time, said, "I was wondering when one of you all were going to come to your senses and realize that this is what needed to happen." So they already knew it needed to happen, was waiting for it to happen. It's like they were just waiting for me to say something.
Yeah.
So when I got everything together about how we were leaving, because we were escaping, so we were escaping. So I had an escape plan together. So once I got all the money together and got where we were going together and all that other stuff, I started talking to them because you couldn't tell them too much too soon. They'd be done
Right.
slip something out, and they were just like, okay, and that's what it was. It was an escape plan, and that's what we did. But it was just that the 13-year-old said, "I was wondering when one of you all were going to come to your senses and realize that you didn't need to be together."
Mm-hmm.
So they do. They actually have more sense in a lot of these situations than we do now. Like they paying a whole lot of attention. Um, so what about you, Tony? Because you have little ones, don't you, Tony?
No, mine are actually 20, and my daughter will be 22 at the in a week.
Okay.
But I always factored in whether or not my kids liked who I was dating, because I know that I was very different in my 20s. I was a younger parent, but I was very naive and immature and selfish, and I took care of my kids. I was a good parent, but when it came to dating, I just kind of had my fun, and I didn't really think back then about who I brought in to my life when I was younger. And then I kind of grew up and kind of like, you know what, I can't bring these like fuck boys basically around my kids. I need people that are like worthy of being around, and when are like worthy of being around me, I need to actually have like standards, and I realized that as I grew up. And then it got to where, if they were somebody who didn't like my kids, or my kids didn't vibe with, and it's like, I cut my losses. Like my kids, are, my family, my everything at the end of the day. And I've had plenty of people, that like my kids, like they had a lot of, like they're fine now, but they had a lot of like, mental health issues growing up, and like people were always very judgmental. And I'm really like, I'm nice and all that, but when it comes to my kids, I'm a pit bull. Like if you try to talk to me about kids, I'll rip you a new one. You don't talk to me badly about my kids to me. But like
lioness,
yeah,
pit bull, mama bear, all that together.
yeah.
All that together.
But yeah, I definitely do. I very much factor in. So we have that discussion. They'll flat out tell me things they don't like about somebody from the get-go. So I know from the get-go, I'll ask them, what do you think of this person? And they'll be like, oh, I like them, blah, 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 or I don't like them, this and this and this. So we've always had a very open and honest conversation, as they've gotten older, kind of in through the teen years into the adult years. So.
So Nashi, did you have something you wanted to say on that one? Did you think about it? You said that you think you were gonna come back to that one, or you did?
So as far as telling the kids, I agree with no. They know. They're not stupid. And no matter what age they are, they're not dumb. They know. So just be upfront about it, you know.
Yeah.
Sit down with them as things progress or as things go to a next stage. Talk to them about it. See how they're feeling. Okay.
Exactly.
See how they're feeling. Check in with how they're feeling about it. You know, not just about how you guys are feeling or this and that, but you got to check in on where they're at with it too.
And who else do we care about in this situation? Do we care
Right.
about our mother is saying
No.
this is our sister. We don't care what mom thinks.
We don't care what mom thinks.
So if it causes that big of a rift in the family, then what?
I think it comes down to the two individuals. You know, each person and their upbringing and what they've been through and, you know, what they're feeling and all that is different. You know, I might be like, well, you know, just say, for instance, I did it, right? I was the one who slept with my sister's husband, you know, who developed this intense relationship on losing her. And it went to this great level where it's like, you know, we just can't deny it. I'd be like, screw you all. You're not living my life. I'm living my life. You know? That's just me. But again, I think it comes down to each person and each circumstance and each family as well. Because some people, it may be against their background, it may be against their religion, you know, and they may be so true to that that they will let that person go and choose to be miserable for the rest of their life to stick by their beliefs and their morals and their upbringing, which there's nothing wrong with that.
See, my head it's getting me into so many different things, not just what we're talking about now, but it's one thing will be said and it makes me think about something else, and then make me think about this and that. So if I go off, or if y'all go off, don't worry about it. We'll come back. We'll come back into it, because I did think about, because you all are really giving me a lot to think about. Which, like, when I have when there's a subject, it's not that I am set in stone on anything. It's just that I think there's something worthy of a discussion. And I'm mature enough to know. Now.
Thank you.
I feel better now. Thank you. Who had that on? That was perfect timing.
My phone wasn't working. I mean, it wasn't plugged charging. I'm like, hold up. And I forgot it'd be talking. It talks.
I was about to say what I was thinking. My initial thought on it. I'm mature enough to know that, to be open, that what I'm thinking is not necessarily the way I need to have set in stone, that there's some other possibilities that'll make more sense and sensibility to me. And that's what I was saying when that thing, what did it say?
So when my phone gets charged, it says, I feel better now. Thank you.
See, I feel better now. Thank y'all. I feel better now. As I said, that was perfect.
She is a nice one. She is a tame one. I have a friend who used to have a thing on their phone where it literally said, yes, plug me in, daddy. It would be like, that feels good. Harder, harder. Like, what do you have on your phone?
Where do I get these from?
You got an Apple?
Yes. Apple does it, but you can tell you can put something on your phone.
Yeah, you go through automations.
It's just like, I know what it is.
Look, I don't know.
Automations on so you go to the shortcuts and then automations.
I almost deleted that, tried to delete that. I said, let me get this shortcut off my phone, because I don't know what the hell is in there for.
No, that's how you can do speed dial as well.
What the heck is the Siri add to my Walmart card?
Right, Siri.
What?
Siri
you can do that after the show.
Oh no, my Siri's a British guy.
Oh, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all just caught me by surprise with that. But when she just said the old daddy plug me in kind of thing, that made me think that sexual part. And because one thing that I read about it with the biblical party was saying, one part says about it says, you know, about marrying your brother's wife. But then it also says that if you do that, that she will never be able to bear any more children. So that shows that it's you know how people use the Bible to prove their point. So I can see it now, because it's saying, yes, go ahead, marry the wife, the sister-in-law, because it's your duty. Basically, it was that it's your duty to now take care of your brother's family. but she can't have any more children is to me is saying no fucking going on. Okay, but how y'all see that? That's how I see that. Y'all think that is that the same? Am I off? Am I somewhere there?
I guess I take it as I don't know. Yeah, no fucking, or I don't know. One of y'all need to get clipped and fixed and burned and tied and flabbergasted and super glued.
I mean, but there was no birth control back then. You know, it was like you had.
I mean, they had what is that, the rope that George of the Jungle used to roll on? They could have sewed something up with that.
But see, now she'd probably be still having the side hoe up in that situation. So
Did you say a side hoe?
she didn't deny it.
I ain't mad at you, Nasty Fool. I ain't mad.
I mean, I do have 13 spouses on Meet Me, so there might be some truth to that.
I used to always say everybody need to have somebody on the side just in case. That's what I used to say. I'm a little more settled now, but I used to say everybody need to have somebody on the
Or
other
if you're
side.
single, just have a friend with benefits. There you go.
Look, say you scary. Gigi, don't just pop up in here talking about, oh, really? She probably been in here listening all along. I see. All right, so do y'all think that we're not? It's biblically it was okay to marry just for the sake of taking care of the brother's family, but that she couldn't have any more children. Me and Nash are in an agreement that we think it meant no sex. What y'all think?
You have to think about it. Back then, it was all about financially stability.
Yeah,
it wasn't even about sex.
mm-hmm.
It was about having someone that you knew who would take care of you.
Yeah.
And back then, it was the men courting. Like, yeah, the arrangement. There were arrangements, but it was still the parents had to make sure you can bring. I need 2 goats, a cow, and some chickens. Like you could come, you could provide for my said daughter. Like you're not just about to take her. So they weren't even having sex until all of that transpired. So it was about making sure it said individual was taken care of, because most women weren't even really working for real. They were in the home.
So it's just our dirty minds. Isn't that what it is? Because we're so sexualized nowadays that pretty much any situation you say to somebody, somebody's going to think of it in a sexual way.
We all are. Yeah, definitely. But we got to think outside the box. Put the boundaries, put our focus on. But still think it. Just don't say it.
We already know. In Nafi's situation, it was different. She already told us she's got all the side hoes, so she's good.
Exactly.
So she's not getting it from her marriage, but she's getting it on the side, so she's good.
But then you also got it. They did have the concubines. They had the homes. So
yeah.
But you also got to think about it too. They were aware of diseases. Well, they weren't really aware, but they were aware of diseases. They didn't really care about the diseases. They did care about deformities and what's the other word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but like anything where the baby was natural, like deformity, defects, mental or physical, like all of that. They were aware of that. So to cut down on that, it was like, yo, you need to stop bumping up with your sister, even though we're all technically related.
See, that's why I say that's why I did that the segment. I can't talk. I wanted to say addition and I wanted to say segment, and it wouldn't come out one or the other. It kept mixing it up in my head. About is there one true religion? Because that just made me think about when you see I can't talk right now. The concubine, the side pieces. I can say that. So I'll say that. Did y'all see that series called Handmaid's Tale?
No, I couldn't get into it.
I've heard of it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay. Hey, Tat. Okay, because it's one part of it. I stopped after a while, but I watched it consumed like 6 months of my life before I finally got tired of it. There was a part where they stopped all the women from working. The women, they could no matter what position they held, they could no longer work because they were going back to what they said was the real way the world was supposed to be operate, right? So the women were taken. So say somebody was a cashier, she ended up being a handmaid. Say somebody was a secretary, she may have ended up in the kitchen. And say somebody was an attorney, the doctors and the attorneys, they ended up being married to the men who were ranked according to how they were before things happened too. So they were arranged marriages. And when the women couldn't get pregnant, then they would get the concubines, the handmaids would be the ones. But it was a scene that really disturbed me. But and it's just so reminds me of, it took me back to that. Like I said, I get such a visual where the one was to actually impregnate, to show how it wasn't on a sexual, it was purposely for reproducing. The wife was on the bed with her legs apart. The handmaid was in between her legs, and they were holding hands, and the husband was having sex with her. So for me, it was, she's watching him rape this girl. That's what was in my head. But then it was a part of it, as you go more into it, they did the same type thing when she gave birth. So it wasn't that it was, for them, it was like, this is the order of things, and this is how we're going to keep the bloodline going, and this, that, and the other. And the holding the hands was supposed to be like, we're one. I can't, my body won't make this baby for some reason. And they did it that way. But then even when she gave birth, it was the same way with the mother, with the wife and the handmaid there. So it was just that it was there for the purpose of having the children. And I just totally went off on this because it's something about that movie that rubs you the wrong way. But it was some of the times the girls still wouldn't get pregnant. But then they knew that if they didn't reproduce, that they were going to get beaten, castrated, put out into the woods or whatever. So they were actually sleeping with the drivers and the security people and things like that to get pregnant. But that's a long story. I just went all off on that one, but that was a whole nother story. But it's just that sexual part, how we were saying, how y'all brought in, that the Neil brought in so eloquently, that we have that sexual part, that intimacy. Them being intimate doesn't have to be a sexual part of it. And then it does tie in with the biblical part of it. And Lisa, you might be able to kick in on that, the biblical part of marrying a relative's
Actually, I didn't think about it. You mentioned on the religious aspect. It's not for me. It is a different religion and a different, way of life. Polygamists, okay, they have sister wives. They have husbands who have multiple wives. It's a different religion. It works for them. It's not for me, but it works for them. They have multiple wives and they switch off taking care of the kids, and they have different times where they have their relationships, and it's a different lifestyle, and I think really unless we're living it day to day, I mean, if it works for them and they're happy, good for them. If it works for them, then good for you. It's not personally for me, but there's people that do it.
Sexualize that, Tawny, because now when you think about polygamy relationships, it's not about that. Let me take care of, and we raise these children, and we get property, and we make businesses and things like that. It's not even that anymore. When you think polygamy nowadays, it's just a matter of having multiple partners. Yeah. We've even sexualized that part of it. We have, because I even dated somebody, and she wasn't a very sexual person, and I am. And she told me that she had been in a polygamous relationship for like 15 years before, and that she would have no problem with us doing that. You know, and that's why I said we've even taken that to a sexual part, because the polygamy actually does tie back to what what Neil brought into it. It does tie back into that. But we just keep sexualizing things. And I did put that was the first freaking place I went.
Yeah.
When I heard that story was, ew, how can you have sex with your sister's man? That was the first place I went. And that was the first place I went with it. That's why I kept saying, oh, okay. I do.
Yeah.
And we don't care what mama says. We don't care what daddy says. We don't care what the sister or the brother says. Always worry about our children. So how do we meld the children? Because, you know, we can say in a perfect world they already know each other and things like that. How do we mesh the two families? From now at night, somebody said in there, just keep it at uncle, uncle. But how do we now meld the two families that they were cousins? You know, are they still cousins now? Are they sister brother? How do we meld those two together?
So he becomes Uncle Daddy, and they become brothers, cousin, brother, cousin, sister.
Exactly.
Brother, cousin, brother, sister,
Uncle Daddy.
Uncle Daddy off that show, clothes, Uncle Daddy.
Actually, I dare you to buy someone in an auction, name them Uncle Daddy. Please do that. Please do that.
Ooh.
Yo, true story.
Sonny,
Look,
when do you have your next auction? Shoot, I'm about to call.
I'm gonna say somebody's gonna be nasty with Uncle Daddy.
True story.
Oh, shoot.
Uncle
All right,
Daddy.
look, my granddaddy. Look, I've done this transparent moment. Right, my granddaddy had more kids. Right, so his kids would automatically make them my uncle. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my granddad passed. My mom now legally adopts those kids. So now those kids are my brother.
Yeah. Your cousins became your brother.
No, my uncle became my
Uncle
brother.
became your brother.
Yeah.
Uncle, brother, cousin?
No, just uncle brother.
Oh.
He don't got no kids yet.
Oh.
Okay, so see, that's the same with me. One of my cousins was given her baby up for adoption, and my parents adopted him. So my cousin is now my brother. It's my brother.
So you keep it what it is. You let the kids whatever they feel comfortable calling you. You don't make them. I mean, out of respect, like say for instance, you said mom, you're gonna call me mom. I'm not Sarah. No, I'm your mother.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like spouses, like steps and stuff like that, I think is yes, you're gonna be Miss or Mister. Like have that respect, but I'm gonna let whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not gonna make you call me mom or dad because technically I'm not. But you're still gonna respect me and call me Mr. or Miss so and so.
Yep. I'm right there. I'm right there with no.
Okay,
Yeah,
but aren't we alienating? With Nashy, did you have something you wanted to say? I'm sorry.
No.
You're so cute. Perfect world. You know, we're open communication with the children, with all parties involved. Fuck the rest, as my friends say. Fuck them and fuck the rest. But that's in the perfect world, right? But if we were to concern more on the children, how are we bracing them? Or, you know, because the world is the world and the world is cruel. Kids are blatantly honest about stuff, and they are cruel beings. Even to the point, like I've got a grandkid, you can give him some, you can spend your time cooking, and he'll look at it, he's like, ew. Or my granddaughter, she'll taste it, ugh, hurt your feelings, blatantly honest. So, you know, how are we really going, us as adults, girl, you and your stuff coming in with the right sounds just at the right times now. How are we helping them to adjust with what they're with the feet with the kickback. Because we can say get the fuck out my face, you know, to another adult. Or we can get the you ain't paying my motherfucking bills, I don't give a fuck. We can get those kind of attitudes. The kids can't get that.
Right. Right.
And
I think that at some point, I mean, always there's got to be that conversation. But if you've got that one kid where it's just affecting them in ways that you can't imagine, then that's where you got to re-examine everything, you know, because sometimes some kids it really fucks with them mentally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
rather you get family counseling to help through it, or you got to assess, is us going down this road really worth what this kid is going through?
Y'all
And
agree?
you know, some people are like, you know, you got to put yourself ahead of the kids sometimes. But you know what? At the end of the day, kids' mental health is more important than me, you know, being with somebody that I love. That's just me.
Okay.
You know, I don't care if it's my kid, my sister's kid. I don't care if it's Sonny's kid. That should come first.
Right? You
That
definitely
lays the
don't
foundation.
disregard who they are and their mental health and their feelings and their emotions. You definitely want to take it if it comes to, you know, that being it that serious to where counseling isn't helping, like they really just like, yo, yeah, take a step back, take a break. Maybe we don't need to be in a said relationship. We could still be, you know, friends with benefits or something if it's meant to be. You got to have those boundaries, and really, this is where communication is really has to be open
Yeah.
across the board. Like you, and then you have to take facts over feelings. Like it's something like, yo, I'll just you because you comfortable and we just doing it just because you here and I don't want to start over, or is it really true feelings?
Yeah.
But as far as like letting the kids know, say, hey, yeah, definitely, you want to grow and raise your child to stand their ground. Like, yo, be authentic who they are and be comfortable in it. And like, yeah, I am. So what? What you gonna do about it?
Right.
Yes, but do it in the sense of what's their personality traits. Like my son, he's just like me. Versus my daughter, she's very passive. Like she'll stand her ground, but she a little more timid. But it's about how we raise them because who was I telling it? Home is the first school.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And outside of that, it's just them picking up on like, yo, you weird. That type of thing. Like I'm going back to my circle. Like, yo.
There's counselors, for
Yeah, like all of that.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What you saying on that, Tony? The same thing?
As far as getting the kids counseling,
Yeah, just as far as helping them about them adjusting or them being the real cruel world hitting them with this type of situation.
I definitely think it's definitely important. My daughter's always been pretty open to it, and she'll do it. My son, now as an adult, he's finally open to it. But oh my gosh, the fact that, you know, he had the issues, but he was so highly intelligent, he knew how to get out of things. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to counseling." He's like, "I'm gonna go to counseling, and I'm gonna talk to you about, hey, you know, I listened to Akon's new CD last night, and I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer last night." I was like, "Isaiah, you're supposed to be talking about your issues, not about Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Akon. That's not what you're here for." Like, what the okay. He would always like sidestep, and he knew. He's like, "Well, you can make me go to this. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna talk about whatever I feel like talking about instead." So, but he doesn't do that as an adult. He actually does what he's supposed to do now. So
That reminds my grandma's baby. He's 3, and he is such a little and y'all should see him. He's got these big big thick curly hair, and people say he looked like a Abercrombie. No, my other daughter, his auntie said he looks like the lead on a Nickelodeon show that's mean to everybody. That's how he looks, you know. And he was playing. He can do anything on a computer. At 3, he can put things together. He's just laser focused, you know. We actually think he's on a real low scale of autism because he gets so direct, but he doesn't like certain stimulation. But Tony, when you said that, it reminded me of how kids will play into things sometimes and try to get out and stuff. And it made me think about him because all he would talk about was Roblox, whatever the name is, that game is. Everything. And my daughter said, Mom, all he wants to talk about is Roblox. So one day I was over and I was talking with him and he was talking about it. I'm like, no, come on, let's go do this. And we started doing some other stuff. So say we're talking about, oh yeah, those flowers are pretty, just like the flowers that they had on Roblox, Mom. You know, Grandma, he went right back to Roblox. Anything we talked about, well, you want some yogurt? Yeah, I like yogurt, and so on Roblox probably like yogurt too, Grandma. Everything went right back to the Roblox. But that's what I wanted y'all to. That was a question, and like I said, anything I'm asking you all is not that that's my opinion or my thought. It's just that it's something I want to hear somebody else's opinion on. But that's what I was waiting to get to, was to see, because we had said, you know, we don't care about anybody else when it comes to that. We deserve to be happy. What happens happens. We're adults. We can manage a situation. We know that we can communicate with the children and let them know what's going on and get their feedback and things like that. We can help them with dealing with other people around, and if we have to cut off family or whatever we have to do for protection of. But what do we do when the children have that issue? Do we stay in it, or do we listen and see how it actually is they're responding to it? And what you all seem to be consensus, I can't talk. The consensus is, if it is something that is really weighing and that seems like it might be detrimental to the children to be in that situation, we will step back. And even if we have to have them as a whole on the side, Nashi, as a concubine, as a side piece, friends with benefits, that's what we should do, is step back in that situation just so that they can have that. Actually, what it is from that book, what I was saying about that book, Unheard, letting them know that they've been heard.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes back to. All right. So y'all enlightened me. Y'all changed my way of thinking on some stuff. Like I said, I was open. I'm always open, because I know I was like, ain't no damn way. Ain't no way. I still don't think I could do it. But now, just talking with you all, if something were to happen to a sister and there were children involved, I automatically, I know I'm going to step in.
Yeah.
Right.
I know I'm automatically going to step in. But then it kind of opened my mind a little bit with Nell, especially made me open my mind about that perfect storm. Girl, your sounds.
I'm telling you.
I'm like, I know, I'm saying they're happening at the right time. That's what I'm saying.
I was waiting for Nashi's phone to go off and like start playing like Unholy or something, you know, just like throw off the mix of everything.
I have a song, but it's Unholy, not the title. It's just an Unholy song. I don't think I should play it.
Turn it the fuck up, Nash.
I thought she was about to say, okay, I'm about to play Unholy.
I was, but then she said she had another song. I was, but she said she got a song is unholy, but is not holy, but the name of it is not unholy.
Yeah.
Is what you said? Okay, well, let me get y'all final statements, and then we're gonna play the unholy shit. Doing something unholy, do.
I like that song.
Do. Look, I don't be playing by no music. Y'all know that by now. All right, so Nasty, before you play your dirty song, give me your closing. It could be about you. It could be about topic. It could be relationship. Just whatever you want us to know.
Here's what I have to say. Is it may not be for me, but I don't care who you are. If you ever find yourself in any situation, you can always talk to me about it. Just because something ain't for me, I'm open up to things for other people. You know what I mean? because I can't tell you how to live your life. And I may need a minute to process it, but I'll still be here. And even if it ain't for us, let's not pass judgment on somebody else's life, because we haven't been in their situation. We haven't been in those shoes. And we probably haven't been in the situation that those individuals were in.
You probably end up getting jealous when you see how good their relationship turns out.
Yeah. Right. Especially if you got money.
That's what we do.
Yes, exactly.
How dare you? Oh, they bought a new house. Oh, they going where? Oh, didn't they just get back from it? They going to Switzerland? Oh, see, I hate that bit. That's what we do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't fuck around with women. I don't like y'all catty and bitchy. I don't fuck with women. But my sisters are my sisters. If I'm there with you, y'all my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
But my friends are all male. I've got two, I would say two female friends. Other than that, if you my sis, either you my sis or you're the males are friends, and other than that, females, you my fucking partner or something like that. But whatever.
Yeah. Like my main friends are guys. But if my main friends are guys. But if I find out, the female did them wrong, we're gonna go and we're gonna take care of it. We're gonna hide the evidence. We're gonna make sure that everybody keeps their mouth shut, and we're gonna handle the situation like some gangsters, So handle your business sometimes.
Period. You see, that's true, Tap, right? Well, you can't be friends with women. Women are the worst ones to be friends with other women. I've always hung around with guys. Guys, they call me, tell me I'm just another dude. I can't hang around with women too much. I can't. That's why I get in trouble. So that's what it kept me in trouble a lot. I told somebody, I was telling them the other day, we had been friends for like 7 years. We have had to diminish phone conversations, going out to eat, hanging out at my house, anything. We had to stop that because his wife was jealous of it. Mm. So much to the fact that he worked in HVAC, right? And I had to call him. He would always fix my AC if something happened in my car, at the house, or whatever. And I would get in business too from people I knew, but I never got charged for it. So he was coming over one time. He came over one time to do it. I'm like, what you need? What you need? He said, you fix me some coffee, Sonia. I fixed him coffee. And then it was another time we had moved in, got in his house and needed something checked. And I was, me and him have been going back and forth about it. And then the day he was supposed to come, I got a message. And I was like, that don't sound like his words. It don't sound like his words. And it was then, but I went along with it. And I went along with it, kept it real simple, because we'll talk about any thing. But I just kept it real simple. And then it was something was like, is your husband going to be there? Mm-hmm. And I knew then, I said, this his fucking wife is messaging me. I knew that from the beginning. I'm like, because he wouldn't have said your husband. He would have called him by name. Because him and my husband were cool. Because he had told me once before that she had said something about her husband. Does her husband know? What the fuck? He getting free AC work. He don't give a fuck who coming to do it. He don't care. They cool with each other. He don't give a fuck. But I knew. And then like 3 days later, he called me. He said, you at home? I'm like, yeah. He said, I'm going to come by. And he came by. He said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what? He said, that was her. I said, I knew it was her. He said, I was looking. He said, I was right there during all of the conversation, all of it. And I was like, I hope Sonya don't say nothing that she gonna come back at him about. And he said, I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. But we really had to sneak to speak to each other. And that's usually on Messenger on Facebook. Yeah. We'll send a message like every 5-6 months. Something like that. We'll send a message to each other so he can delete it because she got a problem with me. Girl, stop fucking other men and take care of your man. You wouldn't be worrying about me. That's what I want to tell her. But I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to tell her. All right. Go ahead, Neil.
I would have responded that way to that text message. I've been like, don't worry about my husband. You should tell your wife to stop fucking around.
No, because I wasn't gonna because he was gonna get the laugh. He was gonna get the kickback, and that's my baby. I call him chocolate drop, and he called me caramel. So yeah, I wasn't gonna let my chocolate drop get in no trouble.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna let him. I
I'm an
wasn't gonna let my
instigator.
chocolate drop get in no trouble.
I'm an
Mm-mm.
instigator.
I am too, but I do it for other people. But I do it for other people. But I ain't look, cause I ain't had no halo over my head. I tell a bitch about her man in a minute. Start some shit. Look, this one lady brought something to my job one day. It was a check stub that fell out of my bag. I was in my friend's car, and she don't bring it. Is this yours? Yeah, it is. Thank you. And I'm walking around and doing other stuff, and then she was like, so you were in so and so's car? I said, and you are? I know who she is. And you are? And she's like, well, I'm his, we've been living together. I said, and you telling your troubles to me, why? I think you need to talk to your man. And when she was leaving, I said, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to tell you something. Your man like to suck toes. I did. She was just like, she had turned white. Like, are you okay? Do we need to put you in a room? You okay? You know?
Sonny Savage, I like it.
Oh yeah, I did something. By the way, your man like to suck toes. You have a good day. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Miss Nash. And we know Miss Nashy. Y'all look her up under Nashy. She is trying to get her hours together. She's not on any set schedule, but check and look for her Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day. Just tap in Nashy or fave her so you'll get a notification. But just go to the top in the search bar and put in her name and just search for her. If she's not on there, just get in the habit. And that's what you do for everybody in these boxes right now. I always forget about my gifters. In the gifters, that's what you do is you go on because the favorites will get deleted. Your favorites will drop down and recirculate. You've done faved 20 people you forgot you faved, and they all taking up that space because they all been on all day, every day, so they all up at the top. So just get in the habit of putting the person's name in at the top and letting it see if they own or not. That's like I said, that's how I catch nails sometimes. All right, Nancy, you got anything coming up that I need to put on my calendar?
I got my fives battle one and done on 10/27.
Send me the flyer.
Okay. I've got my auction on 10/28.
Okay.
I've got my show. Let's see here. Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Let me just. I got a lot going on.
Because I have something on the 28th too. Because I think it's like 2 or 3 top badges are doing auctions that day. So I know it's a lot going on the 28th because I've got an event on the 28th too.
Mm-hmm. Well, send me yours and I'll send you mine.
Okay. All right, Nashy. Woo! All right, Nell. My love. The one I knew was going to get us into a whole different realm of thinking.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I don't have anything going on. Fags is free. Come and check me out. Don't just do it just because you want to do it. I mean, I get it. I like it because I get a lot and then they all gone. Like, I get I don't be streaming. I warned you before you hit the button. I don't be on here long. That don't mean take away the fave because that really bothers me. You gonna fave me, take it away, and then refave like I changed or something? Nah, I'm still the same person.
You
like,
know when folks do that, they be trying to say, "Oh, it unfaved." No, half of you unfaved me. You unfaved
I'm
me.
still the same.
Don't be messing up nobody's numbers. Keep that fave on.
Exactly. Jeez, don't take it away. But thank you for the refave. But again, you're going to catch me by searching my name like Sonny said, or you got me fave, and then you got to scroll to the bottom because, we don't stream consistently. You just automatically go to the bottom. So just scroll a little bit if you really like me. Sure. But yeah, I don't got nothing planned. I don't be on here like that.
You don't be on here like that. All
No,
right.
not no more.
Look, now you know what I just thought about.
What's up?
You was a big gifter.
I don't know, just a little bit.
If when you slowed down gifting as much, did the fave start? Did people start unfaving you?
They unfaved because I wasn't consistent streamer.
Okay.
But as far as the gifting, when you're a big gifter, you could tell who's really there and who's not.
Okay. It just when it made, when you said that, it made me. I told y'all my mind goes everywhere.
I was a gifter before I was a streamer. I'm still technically a gifter before a streamer. And then now I just go live because I have individuals who be like, yo, where you been at, or cussing me out because they miss coming to the stream, because literally my stream is literally a chill vibe. Like, we talk about how green the grass is or what position you in. Like, it doesn't matter the subject, but I don't start it. I say hello and then it goes from there.
What position is
What
in?
position are we in?
Yeah, me and Nasty did the same thing.
Yeah, we
I
say,
thought her
like,
head
my
went this
stream
way.
is-
I don't
Mine
care
went
if your
like
grass is green or brown,
She's
but
trying
what
to be
about
all
that
deep and
position?
philosophical. We just keep ruining it and twisting it.
I'm just saying,
sorry
but
now.
that's who I am, and that's how the stream be flowing. Like, we could not talk for like an hour and then randomly have a deep conversation for 2. Like, it
we talk about
goes
what
any and
position we
everywhere.
in at work, what position we in the
Yeah, see,
contest,
we
what
don't need
position
Nell
we
to keep
in
the
on the
balance
bed.
of like
What you mean?
behaving in our stream. She's pop in and visit us.
Exactly.
She'd be like, pop in, are you guys behaving today? She's like,
No,
get your
never.
shit together and behave now.
Never. So you know, in Nail Stream, we will discuss what position you hold at your job at your company,
Yeah.
what position you are in the contest, and what motherfucking position you in the bed.
It's so many variables. So many variables.
My
Just
stream
flow
gets like
right
that,
one
so
to
yeah.
the other, but let's
Right.
stay at the other one for a good long time.
I love streams that are like that. You go from the straight to the right to the left to the up to the down, and next thing you know, you did the diddly do, and you got your feet above your head.
Exactly. All of that. All of that.
Pull me close, Nashy. Pull me close.
That's
Grab
me,
right there at the
listen.
bottom, right at the bottom of the back, right before the ass, right there, that little arch. Just like cup like this and just pull me close. There you go.
There you go.
Oh shit, I felt that. I might have to make a call. I might have to make a motherfucking call. I felt that one. I told y'all I'm visual. I got a visual of that. Got a visual. Okay. We good. All right. Tony.
Okay. And
Let me
quick
know.
shout out. Make sure you fave Sunny,
Right.
fave Nashy. Check out her awesome travel show Sundays at 2. Favorite Miss Nell. Just met her. But she's clearly, we need her all around so we know how to behave. Because some of us, we just don't behave in our streams, but it's